This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in Arvada, Colorado. I am here with the Colorado harpist. Since 2004, she has been providing an extensive repertoire of harp music for weddings and special events throughout Denver. Erin, thanks so much for joining us here today. Let's start off a little bit about yourself, first of all. This really is a journey that began for you many years ago, back when you were 9 or 10, learning piano, decided to take a chance at a harp. Share with me a little bit how this all got started for you.
Well, I have to say, my mother is a musician. She plays the French horn. Her brother plays the guitar. Their family, whenever they would get together for family gatherings, they would sing in harmony. So it's been a musical journey. I would say that started with my mom. She's really introduced me to music my whole life. We always had classical music playing. We always had a lot of shows that we would go and see together. So she started me on harp lessons at 9, and now I have 4 harps.
It's been passed down, as you would say. Let me ask you this. I mean, a harp can really be traced back all the way to 3500 BC. We're talking about generations have been enjoying the harp music. Is it kind of exciting to share this ancient art with really a modern world today?
It is, and people always think it's really strange that I ever found the harp, but there's actually a lot of harpists in the Front Range, and it's becoming popular again in Ireland, and a lot of people like to hear harp at special events and weddings, and sometimes it's just the right thing for a small engagement.
I believe that one of the reasons I love the harp myself is because of the fact that it's a rare instrument. I mean, it's commonplace to see guitars or pianos, but I mean, the size alone it kind of demands attention. Are people fascinated just to actually watch the playing of a harp?
Well, people always have questions about the harp. A lot of times it's the first time people have ever seen a harp up close, and they didn't realize that it has 7 pedals, and each pedal has 3 positions, and a full-size concert harp has 47 strings. And so I would say it's one of the more complex instruments to master.
I mean, obviously, it's the sound of the harp that everyone loves, a full, resounding sound that fills up a room. Let me ask you, I mean, it's kind of a cross between a guitar and a piano. It's got a full scale like a piano, kind of a hybrid of the two. Does that make it a unique instrument?
Well, it is basically an upright piano. You can play piano music on the harp and likewise, but you don't have the black keys that you would have on the piano unless you switch a pedal. And so it makes playing jazz music with accidentals really difficult. But it also is challenging because the strings, you have to control the sound. And so you can get buzzing, you can get feedback, you can get all kinds of sounds that you don't want. So you have to really have good technique with your hands.
Excellent. Obviously, it's a special instrument. It is an instrument that has helped many special days. One of the special days is obviously a wedding. Tell me why a harp is a great fit for a wedding.
Well, it's an elegant instrument that doesn't overpower the activity that's happening, and it can be placed indoors or outdoors. You can move the harp to a mountaintop. I've moved it on a gondola before. I've brought it on a chairlift. So it is transportable, and it just fits a lot of different settings beautifully.
Speaking of a lot of different settings, you're talking about a lot of different crowds. You yourself, you're a classical harpist, yet you have a full repertoire. We're talking about Celtic, jazz, Latin. You do a little bit of everything to keep the crowds happy. Is that something that keeps it creative for you as well?
Well, my teacher, Penny Beavers, was an arranger of popular music, which was unusual because she had been classically trained. And so she immediately started introducing me to a whole variety of music, which I really appreciate now. And I love playing classical music, but I also love jazz, and I love Celtic music, and I love popular music. I love playing music that people like to hear and tap their feet to and sing along to.
As the bride gets ready and is planning this special day, are you able to set up a consultation with them to kind of go over what arrangements might be available? What takes place there?
Usually the bride will come to my studio, my home studio, and we'll spend an hour together selecting some different processional options, prelude, postlude music, and we'll go over what they'd like to hear in their ceremony. Oftentimes brides have special requests, a song that's really special to them, and I'm happy to learn it. So.
Not only the selections can be chosen, but even the times throughout a day. There's quite a few times in a wedding. We're talking about pre-ceremony as people are coming in, as well as the ceremony itself, even at the reception, at the dinner. Are these all places that you're able to accommodate?
Yes, it just depends on what they're interested in. Sometimes people want me to play for an hour before the ceremony as their guests are having cocktails, or after the ceremony. Sometimes they'll have me move the harp to another location, and I'll play at a reception location and play for a few hours during dinner. So, but typically for a typical ceremony, I'll play prelude, ceremony, postlude.
Wonderful. As a past photographer, a wedding photographer, I like the fact that the harp is one of the instruments you actually can keep in the photographs, because it actually enhances the beauty of the day, the decor, or what it may be.
We had a bride fly in from Mexico, and she had never seen snow. And we went to the top of, it was A Basin, and we brought the harp up on the chairlift, and it was the middle of winter. And I would say those are some of the most beautiful pictures we've had with the harp, with the beautiful Rocky Mountains in the background.
Wonderful. For my wedding, we actually had two violinists kind of representing both sides. If somebody wanted two harpists, are you able to provide a duo out there as well?
Yes, I do play with a local harpist from Boulder, Margot Krimmel, and we have played several weddings duos together. So it's just really beautiful.
Not only weddings are the day that you've accommodated, you've gone through multiple venues just working in Colorado in the past. Share with me some of the events that this is a great fit for. I would imagine fundraising events, bar mitzvahs, cocktail parties, you name it. I mean, it's really a great instrument for any type of arrangement.
Well, you named several of them. There's a lot of gallery openings, corporate events. People will ask me to come for anniversaries and birthdays, and I've had people bring me to a restaurant and play along with them if they want to sing to their wife for their anniversary. I also play for celebration of life ceremonies and retirement homes, and those are some of the most gratifying experiences, I think.
I mean, the harp can really fill a room with resonating sound, yet at the same time, you can still carry on a conversation. So it's, like you say, nice for art galleries or events like that.
Yes, sometimes people will have bands, and I think that's really nice for a larger space.
I think so.
But the harp actually has a fully extended soundboard, and so it's a extremely versatile instrument. You can amplify the instrument and make it as loud as you want, and sometimes I'll get piped through an entire convention center or through an entire wedding venue. So I just attach a guitar amp to the bass.
Nice. Viewers, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is her website. First of all, on the website, you can take a look at the reviews there. Many folks have enjoyed the music that she has provided here in Colorado. You can also take a look at the actual selections that she has chosen out there, samples of what she can play at a wedding. But obviously, you come on in for a consultation. She can walk you through different selections. Maybe there's a particular special song that you would like. You can see that there as well. And obviously the contact information is available right there on the screen. Let me ask you, this was something that started for you at a young age. Is now your way of giving back? Is it in teaching other youth the love of this great instrument?
I love working with students of all ages and ability levels. The challenge is learning different people's learning styles, and as you get to know each student, you can serve them better and offer different tools to learn the instrument.
If we have a parent out there that would like to get their child involved in something like this, do they need to own a harp, or is it something they can actually come here and try out and see how it's a fit for them?
I think that initial hump is a deterrent different for a lot of people, but we're just really lucky in Colorado. We have a harp shop on South Broadway, and it's called Kalachny Music. And Dave Kalachny rents harps for on a monthly basis, and they're just really nice harps for starting out on. And you can bring them home and start off right away.
Not only the teaching, but also performing is something you enjoy. You have been part of many orchestras here in the Denver area. As far as trios go, you've even opened up for some great celebrities out there. Share with me how the performance side is, and it's something that's rewarding for you.
It's been really nice playing in small venues, even places like the Brown Palace Hotel. I played daily for the High Tea. That was what was special about that was I would have little girls come up to me and little boys and want to interact and have so many questions, and I just always like to see their curiosity about music. So additionally, I've played with hip-hop artists and fundraisers for people like Patch Adams, who was doing a fundraiser for a children's orphanage. So it's just across the board. Whenever someone thinks of a harp, I'm happy to bring it.
Absolutely. Speaking of, like you say, the curiosity of a child in this instrument, do you have any children here in the home who are maybe going to start out and have the proper name for a musician?
Well, this is my son's harp. He's 2.5, and he likes to have his daily lessons, and he says, "Mommy, let's do a duet." And so he likes to have duets together, and he tells me which song he's going to play. And so, and then I also have a second baby boy due in July, and so whenever I'm practicing, it's pretty special to be able to play for the baby in the womb.
That is a wonderful story. Erin, like you said, this has been a very enjoyable profession. Share with me some of the unique experiences that you've come across out here in Colorado.
Well, one summer I played every Saturday above a group of howling lions as a fundraiser for a wildlife preserve. That was pretty interesting. They were, I guess, a little threatened by the sound of the harp, or I don't know, maybe they were singing along. I also, recently played for a Cirque du Soleil type of nutcracker performance with a bunch of aerialists and gymnasts, and it was just a really, really neat performance.
You have to be pretty adaptable to where people take you, I'd imagine. And we're talking about something as unique as in a symphony setting, all the way up to the top of a mountain, like you say. It kind of depends where people go. Is each one of the harps transportable? Are you able to take up what it is you need?
Well, I have a smaller Celtic harp that I play on with levers, and that is a lot more transportable. But my full-size concert harps, I definitely have to plan ahead. I have a harp cart, I transport it in a van, and I have to be very careful not to hurt my back or slip, or I also have to check out the venue first and make sure that there aren't too many stairs.
Wonderful. Viewers, last time, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. You're going to see her contact information. You'll also see on the website there, like we said, plenty of reviews. You'll also see a great list of places that she's played out here throughout Colorado. You can set up any training right there as well. She will walk you through it. There's a great FAQ there as far as questions you may have about the instrument itself, or possibly if this is something you want to bring into an event or a venue as well. Once again, that is the Colorado Harpist since 2004. Elegant music for all occasions. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know. is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in Denver, Colorado. I'm here at TymkovichMeats. Since the 1950s, they have been providing quality products to meet your family's needs. I am here with Tim, who is the owner of this family-owned and operated company. Let's start off a little bit here, Tim, about the story here. We can really trace it all the way back to 1912, when your family relocated here. Your ancestors relocated here looking for a better life. Your grandfather basically, at a young age, learned a trade that would stay with him and many generations to come. Share with me a little bit more about this story that basically he was offered a company back in the 1950s and he realized his dream. Share with me what you know about the story.
Well, he was out on a farm just west of Brighton, and he was already doing custom slaughtering for farmers, but kind of lost interest in having a meat plant when somebody offered him this place. Got it for a song and a dance. Really, it was not a.
Wow, that is a great story. I mean, we're talking about a place that's been here for many, many years. The actual process of aging meats, aging foods, it's been around for ages. I mean, it's kind of amazing that we live in this technological world that seems to change everything. And basically, some things go out of stance. Some things are not popular anymore. This is one that technology has really not touched. We're talking about something that works well and hasn't really needed to change.
Yeah, you can't improve on it. In fact, they're finding now that all of the problems coming with food, like E. coli and issues on the meat, bacterias, is taken care of by the aging process. But big companies can't do it.
That is amazing. I mean, the process of actual aging foods, not just meat, has been going on for some time. We're talking about aging cheese and yogurt, yet you're adding actual favorable bacteria in that process. How does the meat process differ from that?
You don't adding anything. It's there naturally. It's a matter of giving the enzymes time to break down the meats. It doesn't always make it as tender as you would like, but tenderness is only one aspect of aged meats. It's also the flavor and the smell. It's a whole different piece of meat than what you would get from a grocery store.
Amazing. So really it's a natural process that only takes the proper amount of time and the proper environment. Tell me a little bit about the environment that you provide here and have for many years.
The environment is a nice walk-in cooler that is the right temperature, the right humidity, and it allows the meats to do its thing. If you have it too cold, ours is a little cold. We do that for shelf life. You can go as high as 38 degrees and a nice aging process. But I keep it colder because I have mixed products in there. We have pork and beef both, boxed product as well as hanging product. And so for shelf life issues and safety, well, we keep it cold. My cooler is rarely above 32 degrees.
Your family has always believed that doing it the old way is the best way. I mean, they've got modern practices today. People are doing things like wet aged. Tell me how that's different and why you've stuck with what you've done.
Well, we actually do that. We use some wet aged product as well. The dry aged is primarily for people who want to take a product home for their freezer, halves of beef, quarters of beef, and we get that right here from Colorado. It's different ways of doing it, but
at the end, you basically have a lot of different variations. A lot of these traditions, were they handed down to you actually from your grandfather, and basically you guys have added to it as well, I imagine?
Yes, there was always in our cooler a month's worth of beef hanging, some younger, some older, but it was always rotated in.
Does aging meat actually reduce the shelf life of meat? And I know a lot of people see like discoloration around the edges of meat. Does that actually mean it's not good anymore? Educate us a little bit on that.
It does play games with the color, but it doesn't necessarily reduce the shelf life. But for a sales point of view, shelf life is everything. The color is going to sell the product or not sell the product. So if someone doesn't know what they're shopping for and they see a little dark edges, that's going to turn some people off, but it's a matter of fact, it's not spoiling. It's a matter of it's not as pretty, it's not as bright.
Interesting. Are all meats good candidates for aging process, or some better than others?
No, beef works well. Red meats work well. Some people like even lamb or venison aged, but some things like chicken got to be fresh weekly. Pork, same thing. You don't want to let the pork hang. You want to cut it as fresh as possible.
I see a lot of cuts around me here. We're talking about beef, lamb, poultry, buffalo. I mean, you guys have quite a wide variety for a shop that seems pretty busy on a Saturday morning here.
We've been accused of not having enough variety, but I've got so many different species in the store, and just about everything anyone would want. You know, if I don't have it displayed, I can surely cut it for them.
You said your grandfather began here outside here, Brighton, on a farm. He actually even had his own slaughterhouse right there on the land there. Obviously, learning how to do the popular cuts on these animals. But even the one we're talking about, using all parts of the animal, heart, liver, tongue. You're going to see a little bit of everything here as well.
Yes, you can. A lot of people don't like the organ meats now quite like they used to. My daughter's turning it into some pet food for some folks, even where she's making a little ground meat that people are feeding to their pets. That's a huge thing now.
Very popular is that of a process that of smoking. Share with me, is that something you provide here as well, smoking meats?
Yeah, we make all of our own hams, bacons, all the sausages that we sell are made right here in-house. My daughter makes most of them, my recipes, but she's taken the work away from me.
One of the meats that I love is that of like beef jerky. What is the difference between jerky versus aging actual beef? Is there a difference there?
Oh yeah, the jerky is dried in our smokehouse. It's a way of preserving it actually. You dry it and get the moisture out of it where it can go in people's pockets, and it's good. You know, aging meat is a whole different thing. It's still fresh. It's made for cooking.
I see some hamburger over here. I see some burgers over here. Getting me kind of hungry just talking about all of it. Folks seem to really like that of sausage. Share with me the process of sausage, and is that something that you pretty much utilize all different types of meats as well?
Oh yes, she makes a variety of fresh sausages. German is our specialty. We sell a lot of that, but we also make some smoked sausages, some summer sausages, snack sticks. The summer sausages are our best seller, really. We sell a lot of them. Good on a Super Bowl weekend.
Regardless of what appeals a person's palate, you guys probably have them covered here. Every type of meat. We're even talking about wild game. I see some seafood as well. Wide variety for folks. Do you seem to keep picking up customers more and more every year? And do people love the education process? Like you say, if you're not sure what you're buying, I noticed you're talking to a lot of people and let them know what there is. Is that enjoyable for you?
Sure. They want to hear where it's from, what they can do with it. They don't always have an idea of how to prepare it. For years, I've gotten people in here didn't like a pot roast, didn't know what to do with it really. If I educate them, I teach them how to prepare it properly, come back and buy more.
Great. Viewers, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their website. First of all, on the website, you can learn a little bit more history about this company that began back in the 1950s. It was basically William Tymkovich that started all this, and had an idea of coming out here with his family and looking for a better life. He found a great spot here, and they have expanded since time has gone on. You can take a look also all the different types of meats they offer out there. Basically, if you're a sausage maker, they've got you covered as well. You can come in and get some of the things to get you going there as well. Let me ask you, Tim, you now, since 1986, you have owned and operated the establishment here. Did you actually get to work with Grandfather Bill and learn those trades firsthand?
I did not. I was 3 years old when he passed away. My father and my uncles helped me out here for years. When I finally took over in '86 by myself, I pretty much was ready. I had worked for other companies as well, and I added the fresh meat counter. We added sausage. My daughter and I are the ones that initiated the sausage making, and it's gone well for us. I think the smokehouse has actually kept us in business all these years. It's provided a lot of business for us.
Be pretty cool if you could actually walk through the doors today and see his family still running the place. Wouldn't that be so cool?
He'd be shocked. He'd be shocked.
Really? Yeah. I mean, things have probably changed, and yet he'd look and see, this is what I started.
I'm not sure he planned on it going on this long. He was kind of a nomad coming from Europe. Everybody else just stuck with it. We didn't know where else to go.
Great story. Thank you so much. Viewers, last time, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. You're going to see their contact information right there. This is a company. You can take a look at the hours and the days. They've got some days they take off right there, but you can catch them here definitely on a Saturday morning. Pretty busy. People coming in and out. Really, everything. This is a meat lover's paradise. Smells great when you walk in, and you've got everything you need as far as the fixings go. We've got great seasonings on the wall, and they've got sauerkraut. Everything around you is making sure that you're basically enjoying the meat that they have loved for many years themselves. Once again, that is Tymkovich Meats since the 1950s. This is Gary Atensa with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know. We hope we've enticed you to try something new this week. Until next time, if you know of a business who you feel the whole city should know about, nominate them, we'll send a reporter out. This is Gary Atencio from CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.